We will continue with mantra 7. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Vasudevaya.
Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani.
Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani.
Meva Bhut Vichanatam.
Meva Bhut Vichanatam.
Tatako Maka Sokam.
Tatako Maka Sokam.
Ekatvam Anupashyata.
Ekatvam Anupashyata.
Yasmin. In the situation. Sarvani. All Bhutani, living entities, Atma, the Chit, Chit Kana, or spiritual spark, Eva, only, Abhut, exist as Vijnanataha, of one who knows, Tatra, therein, Kaha, what, Moha, illusion, Kaha, what, so Kaha, anxiety, Ekatvam, oneness in quality, Anupashyata, of one who sees through authority, or one who sees constantly like that. Translation and purport by A.C. Bhakti Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki. One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks in quality one with the Lord becomes a true knower of things. What then can be illusion or anxiety for him? Please repeat. One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks.
One who always sees all living entities as spiritual sparks.
In quality, one with the Lord.
In quality, one with the Lord.
Becomes a true knower of things.
Becomes a true knower of things.
What then
What then
can be illusion or anxiety for him? Can someone read the first paragraph, the purport?
Except for the Madhyam Adhikari and Uttam Adhikari discussed above, no one can correctly see the spiritual position of a living being. The living entities are qualitatively one with the Supreme Lord, just as the spark of the fire are qualitatively one with the fire. Yet the sparks are not fire, as far as quantity is concerned. For the quantity of heat and light present in the sparks is not equal to that in fire. The Mahabharata, the great devotee, sees oneness in this sense that he sees everything as the energy of the Supreme Lord. Since there is no difference between the energy and the energetic, there is a sense of oneness. Also from an analytical point of view, heat and light are different from fire. There is no meaning to the word fire without heat and light. And since it is, therefore, heat, light, and fire are the same.
Yes.
In this mantra, the words Ekatvam or Pashyata indicate that one should see the unity of all living entities from the viewpoint of the real scriptures. The individual parts of the Supreme Whole, the Lord, possess almost 80% of the known qualities of the whole, but they are not quantitatively equal to the Supreme Lord. These qualities are present in minute quantity, for the living entity is but a minute part and parcel of the Supreme Whole. To use another example, the quantity of salt present in a drop is never comparable to the quantity of salt present in the complete ocean, but the salt present in the drop is qualitatively equal in chemical composition to all the salt present in the ocean. If the individual living being were equal to the Supreme Lord, both qualitatively and quantitatively, there would be no question of his being under the influence of the material energy. In the previous mantras, it has already been discussed that no living being, not even the powerful demigods, can surpass the Supreme Being in any respect. Therefore, Ekatvam does not mean that the living being is equal in all respects to the Supreme Lord. It does, however, indicate that in a broader sense, there is one interest, just as in a family, the interest of all members is one, or in a nation, the national interest is one, although there are many different individual citizens. Since the living entities are all members of the same Supreme Family, their interests and that of the Supreme Being are not different. Every living being is the son of the Supreme Being. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7.5, all living creatures throughout the universe, including birds, reptiles, ants, aquatics, trees, and so on, are emanations of the marginal potency of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, all of them belong to the family of the Supreme Being. There is no clash of interest.
Someone else can read this.
As stated in the Vedanta Sutra 1.12. Anandamaya by nature and constitution, every living being, including the Supreme Lord and each of his parts and parcels, is meant for eternal enjoyment. The living beings who are engaged in the material tabernacle are constantly seeking enjoyment, but they are seeking it on their own platform. The platform, the material platform, is the spiritual platform, where the Supreme Being enjoys himself with his innumerable associates. On that platform, there is no trace of material qualities, and therefore that platform is called Nirguna. On the Nirguna platform, there is never clash over the object of enjoyment. Here in the material world, there is always a clash between different individual beings, because here the total center of enjoyment is bliss. The real center of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, who is the center of the sublime and spiritual residence. We are all meant to join him and enjoy life with one transcendental interest and without any clash. That is the highest platform of spiritual interest. And as soon as one realizes this perfect form of oneness, there can be no question of illusion, moha, or limitation.
Godless civilization.
Godless civilization arises from illusion, and the result of such a civilization is lamentation. A godless civilization, such as that sponsored by the modern politicians, is always full of anxieties because it may be crushed at any moment. That is the law of nature. As stated in the Bhagavad Gita 7:14, no one but those who surrender at the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord can surpass the stringent laws of nature. Thus, if we wish to get rid of all sorts of illusion and anxiety, and create unity out of all diverse interests, we must bring God into all our activities.
Someone else, the results of our activities.
All of our activities must be used to serve the interest of the Lord, not for any other purpose. Only by serving the Lord's interest can we perceive the Atma Bhuta interest mentioned here. The Atma Bhuta interest mentioned in this mantra, and the Brahma Bhuta interest mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita 18:54 are one and the same. The Supreme Atma, or soul, is the Lord himself, and the minded Atma is the living entity. The Supreme Atma, or Paramatma, alone maintains all the individual minded beings, for the Supreme Lord wants to derive pleasure out of their affection. The Father extends himself through his children and maintains them in order to do pleasure. If the children obey the Father's will, family affairs will run smoothly, with one interest in a pleasing atmosphere. The same situation is transcendentally arranged in the absolute family of the Parabrahman, the Supreme Spirit.
Krishna. Last.
The Parabrahman is as much a person as an individual entity. Neither the Lord nor the living entities are impersonal. Such transcendental personalities are full of transcendental bliss, knowledge, and life eternal. That is the real position of spiritual existence. And as soon as one is fully cognizant of this transcendental position, he at once surrenders into the lotus feet of the Supreme Being, Sri Krishna. But such a Mahatma, or great soul, is very rarely seen because such transcendental realization is achieved only after many, many births. Once it is attained, however, there is no longer any illusion or lamentation or the miseries of material existence or birth and death, which are all experienced in our present life. That is the information we get from this mantra of Sri Isopanisad.
Good. Now, let's go. All lines, mantra 7. So we are in mantra 7, developing spiritual vision. That it was the mantra. So this is an overview of the purport of Srila Prabhupada. Oneness between energy and energetic. Oneness in quality, not in quality, drop of the ocean. Oneness in interest in bringing enjoyment. So the center of our enjoyment should be Krishna. Separate interest causes sloka and more, lamentation and illusion. Become one in interest with God. So that's the overall theme. Yes.
My question is, why is it so hard to have this transcendental realization? Why does it take so many years?
That because we have cultivated material vision for millions of lives. It became our second habit. We cannot give it up. We hear now about Krishna, and we go outside and we forget him. We start to eat and we don't pray for Krishna. We don't see it really as prasadam. When we take prasadam, we should not eat to get our hunger away. We should eat to meditate on Krishna. But how Krishna tasted the prasadam, but are we doing that? We just forget Krishna. It's so powerful, the material energy. And we are doing it for millions of years. And that's because of our desire to enjoy in this world. The fault lies in us, this serious problem. We have to recognize that serious problem. If we recognize the seriousness of this problem, we recognize the cause of the problem, and the cause lies in us, in our heart. And recognizing that requires humility. So the cause why it's so difficult lies in us, not in Krishna. We have the tendency to blame Krishna, but that we should give up. By knowledge we understand we are the cause, because we have wrong desires. And Krishna reciprocates with our desires. But this will help us here to see Krishna gradually. That's the purpose of the Isopanisad here, this section, to tell us how we can see Krishna gradually. And Krishna does that also in Bhagavad Gita. He helps us in so many ways to change our vision. I'm the taste of water. I'm the smell of the earth. I'm the digestion in every living entity. So many things he says to help us to develop that spiritual vision. But we must be serious in it. So oneness, so these are the parts we covered. So one in quality, different in quantity. Oneness in quality. Krishna, the absolute truth, is Satchidananda, eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. And the soul is also made out of Satchidananda. The same thing. If we realize we are the soul, Satchitananda, and not the body is just the covering, the life is the soul, and that life is eternal, we become fearless, we become detached from the material world. To realize that realization is not easy. One can easily say, oh, I'm detached, and then one puts a gun at your head. You will see, oh, fear will come into your mind. That's easy to say, but not easy to realize. But if we realize that this is the platform of the Madhyam Adhikar, the real platform of liberation, we have realized this oneness in quality. We don't die. We are Satchitananda, like Krishna also, but we are different in quantity. We are a little spark, and Krishna is the whole. So we are limited, he's unlimited. We are conditioned either by the spiritual or the material energy. We are always conditioned under influence of his energies. So that's the difference. Therefore, we must be subordinate to Krishna, surrender to him. And that requires humility. If you surrender, you get humility. If you understand your position of the spirit soul, not being this body, and you realize that detachment comes. So these are important lessons we learn here. And then we have this, the Supreme Lord and his energies, fire and light. Okay. Where there is fire, there is always light. Where there is fire, there is heat. You cannot separate them. So in that same, everything comes from Krishna. The effect must be, the cause must be in the effect. Maybe too abstract, the cause must be in the effect. So everything comes from Krishna, because everything comes from Krishna, everything must be Krishna. Krishna must be in everything. So everything has a connection with Krishna. Nothing cannot have a connection with Krishna. But what's the problem with our consciousness? We have connected ourselves from Krishna in our consciousness. That's illusion. We have cut the connection. Prahlad Maharaj will call this a separatist mentality. We have separated ourselves from Krishna, but that's illusion. You cannot separate from Krishna. Krishna controls still everything, and is still the source of everything. Another example is the sun and the sun god. And then you have the rays. The sun god is compared to Krishna. Then the fire radiance around this orbit, Sparup Shakti, is the form that. And then its rays are Tatastha Shakti. These are the living entities. And the sun's reflection is the Bhayaranga Shakti. Bhayaranga, think Sparupa Shakti. I think that's the radiance. Is
What about Antaragni?
I was also thinking that is wrong. Shakti. So the radiance around the sun is Krishna's spiritual energy. That is internal energy, the Brahman. That the Tasta Shakti are always the marginal energy. These are the living entities. And the Bahiranga Shakti is the external energy. So these are Krishna's three. Well, for Krishna, there is one energy. That he doesn't make that difference, Krishna. For him, external or internal does not exist. It comes all from Krishna. That external exists for us. That we have this body, we cannot walk to the wall. When Narada Muni has a spiritual body, he walks to the wall. It doesn't exist for him. It exists for us because we have a material body. And we identify with this body. But if we are freed from this body, we are free. Yes.
But is it only a point of your consciousness that makes the difference between a spiritual and material body, or is it that you really get that it has a different structure?
And the material energy is factual. It's reality. But it will only influence you if you have a body made of matter. If you don't have a body, then it doesn't influence you, it does not exist for you in that sense.
Just asking because someone told me that the Pandavas, some of them were delivered with the original body, but it just was transformed.
Yeah, that's a whole history. The Pandavas, they went to heaven, not to the spiritual world. They went to heaven. And what is the reason for that? One can say, why didn't they go back to the spiritual world? They went to heaven, and a lot of things happened there. That's in the Mahabharata. But they are in heaven, and they say, Duryodhana, they're drinking samaras and enjoying. And then they say, the Pandavas said, we don't want it. We don't want to be here. What to do, Krishna? And Krishna brought them to the next universe to perform the same service. So they are eternal associates of Krishna. And they travel with Krishna from one universe to another to do their service. And especially Arjuna has a special service. He must ask questions to Krishna. Krishna helps him, brings him under illusion, spiritual illusion, to ask the right questions so that he can speak Bhagavad Gita. Krishna speaks Bhagavad Gita in each universe. There are slight differences. But he travels from universe to universe, Krishna, to perform this pastime, and his eternal associates go with them. It's like, for example, Prabhu says, it's like a traveling a show, a traveling ride show, or you call it, that when they finish a drama on this earth, everything takes up its uniforms, its bodies, and goes with Krishna to the next universe, and goes with Krishna to the next universe to perform the same drama. But the Pandavas, in reality, have always been liberated. They were eternal, Nitya Siddha devotees. They travel with them. So whether they are in the spiritual world or in the material world, it doesn't make any difference. They are in spiritual consciousness. There's something to understand. Yeah.
So for us, it's not possible to transform our material body into spiritual body. We have to leave this one.
Yeah, this is Krishna's mercy that we can leave this material body behind. But this is very exceptional. Yes. Because they are eternal associates. Their body was factual spiritual because it was completely used in Krishna's service. You see also Gop Kumar, he goes from one planet to another planet and even to the spiritual world in the same body. But it's not a material body anymore that becomes spiritualized. But, difficult to understand for us.
Short question to this. When Guru Maharaj will be put into the Samadhi, they say also that their bodies are so spiritualized that it's a spiritual body. But then my question is, why do you believe the body?
Yeah,
so
it is. We will learn that in Bhagavad Gita. Pamanam is a verse in the 4th chapter. Everything what's used in Krishna's service gets the same transcendental quality. Everything what's used in the sacrifice for Krishna. That all the paraphernalia, and this body is a paraphernalia we use in Krishna's service. So it becomes spiritualized. But that does not mean that we are this spiritualized body. No, we are still the spirit soul. The body becomes spiritualized, but we leave it to the spiritual world. And we get our original form. We have an original form in the spiritual world. It's already fixed. But that will become manifest. It's even fixed now. You have this, but it's not manifest. It will manifest after liberation. It starts to become manifest. And it becomes manifest as such that you are identifying with the spiritual body and not with the material body anymore. That's Jivan Mukta, position of a liberated person.
I heard from some devotees that it's also possible that you choose according to your desire, your spiritual body. So this is not true. You have your fixed.
You have your fixed body, but after liberation, your spiritual desire will become manifest. And that is in agreement with your spiritual body. That's your spiritual nature.
So this is unchangeable. It's fixed, it's not unchangeable.
If you want, you can change. But if it's manifest, yeah, if you want, you can change, but there are limits. You cannot, if you are in Vaikuntha and you want to become a cowherd boy, it's not going. You first must come to Bhumi Vrindavan to become qualified for that. Anyway, we are speaking now about the highest esoteric things, and we have not yet understood the beginning of spiritual life from Isopanisad. So, all my answers that I gave, you will filter them to your own perception and interpret them incorrectly. And then with your incorrect perception, you will speak with others. Bhakti Prabhupada said this and that. And don't do that. You try to jump to the highest, and you have not understood and realized that you are not this problem. Don't do that. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Special question for spiritual desires. For example, I was looking today, I wanted to put so much good devotees there or something. That is a spiritual desire. Is it enough?
Yeah, you can cook what the devotees want, but you cook it to please Krishna. These are different things. So first class is to cook for Krishna what Krishna wants. That what does Krishna wants to eat? That Krishna gives, the Govardhan Lila gives whole menus. Chaitanya Chaitanya are full of menus. Even Prabhupada, something in the purport says our devotees should write a cookbook based on these descriptions. So we know what Krishna wants. He wants Mangalarti sweets, milk sweets, and all these things. But sometimes we want to cook what the devotees want. It's okay, but we have to channel this desire or dovetail this desire with pleasing Krishna. So we want to eat pizza and ice cream, we cook pizza and ice cream and do it for Krishna. And then we give it to the devotees. But not that we cook for the devotees only, it's for Krishna. We offer it to Krishna first. But I would say it's second class. First class is what Krishna wants. What Krishna wants to eat. Therefore, like the pujaris in the deity kitchen, I cooked a few times the Rajpoga in Radhadesh, and you have in the deity kitchen you have a plate, Krishna's plate, a picture with all the cups, and it's written in what he needs to eat every day. It's a daily sweet, and then you have another sweet you can make. You have white rice, yellow rice, you have puri, you have a bitter sabji, a sabji with cheese, and then chapatis, and a drink. And anyway, it's all written what he. So no speculation. That's what Krishna wants. Well, I have some freedom in changing the sabji a bit. I have some freedom, but that's what Krishna wants. That's all the items which should be on the plate. So that's no speculation. What I want, no, that's what Krishna wants. And I have my own individuality, my own way of cooking that I can apply to that. And that is what Krishna wants. It's more directed to what Krishna wants. That's first class. Second class is we eat what we want. And we cook it first to Krishna and we offer it to Krishna. That's also good. That's dovetailing our desires with Krishna. Is that good? But anyway, in the temples, we try to cook what Krishna wants. Mangalarti sweets, rasamalai, these things. That it's nice. It's is that all? Yeah. Okay. Good. So not just unity in diversity, but diversity in unity. So we're all different, but what's our unity? We do it all for Krishna. That all the gopis united in love with Krishna. Each gopi was different. They have different natures. That Chandravali would say to Krishna, Krishna, I'm yours. And Radharani would say, no, Krishna is mine. So they have different natures. But, and some are very artistic. Also the cowboy boys, so many ways. Madhu Mangala, another, a very different character. That, but they all love Krishna. and Krishna is the purpose of their existence. So then, so here, not merging, but meeting. This is a river-ocean metaphor. The Lord's perspective, the devotee's perspective. First, let's see the Lord's perspective. Canto 3. Canto 3, text 29, text 11. The manifestation of unadulterated devotional service is exhibited when one's mind is at once attracted to the hearing of the transcendental name and qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is residing in everyone's heart. Just as the water of the Ganges flows naturally down to the ocean, such devotional ecstasy, uninterrupted by any material condition, flows towards the Lord. So that is the Lord's perspective. Let's see here. So a pure devotee must engage in the service of the Lord 24 hours a day without cessation. His life is so molded that every minute and every second he engages in some sort of devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Another meaning of the word Avyavaita is that the interest of the devotee and the interest of the Lord are on the same level. So the devotee acts always in the interest of the Lord. And now 1842. See what this was. 1842. Oh Lord, yeah, that's of course the prayers of Queen Kunti. Vaimenanya Vishyama Tirmatu Patesakit, Ratamut Vada Dagangabargan Mudankiti. O Lord of Madhu, as the Ganges forever flows to the sea without hindrance, let my attraction be constantly drawn unto you without being diverted by anyone else. That's Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti, she prays to the Lord, let my consciousness always be connected with you, like the rivers go to the ocean. I only want to be connected with you but every moment. So that's the devotee's perspective. That's what the devotees praying for. And the other is the Lord's perspective. Well, there he says, my devotees are always busy serving me, and their interest is only to serve me. But Queen Kunti is very humble and she prays. I'm not on that level, but I want that my consciousness always go to the Supreme Lord. She's humble, but she's on the highest platform. Is the highest devotee. That because we have these 9 stages from Shraddha to Prema. Prema is the goal we need to achieve. We can say, when I attain Prema, that's it. But no, Prema has 7 stages, I think. Yeah. Pranaya, Mana, Pralaya, Raga, Anuraga, Bhava as a stage of Prema, and Anubhav. Anubhav is the ecstasy of Radharani. But it is said, our acharyas say that the Queen Kunti has Prema as Anuraga. is very, very attached to Krishna. Anuragi, great attachment to Krishna. Yeah. So Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur writes in a purport of 8:5-32. A devotee holds nothing back, and nothing holds the devotee back. That's nice. Yeah. We don't hold anything back. We give everything to Krishna. So that's a good lesson for us. That we surrender completely. It's not that we surrender to the spiritual master who is the representative of Krishna. And we say, yes, Guru Maharaj, I surrender. I will do everything up to there. If you go further, I will not do. You can ask me everything, but not this. That's not complete surrender. So we must be careful. If we surrender to the spiritual master, we must know what he wants from us and that we surrender, nothing holding back. It's not like in material life, this for you, this for me, this for you, this for me. No, pure love is doing everything to please the beloved. So, this is a bit the conclusion here. If our object is material, if we see our object as material, and our vision is material, then we get bondage, reactions of karma in this world. And we become attracted to things in this world. If the object is material and our vision is spiritual, then we become purified. That we use things in Krishna's service, they become purified. Yes, Srila Prabhupada, flatbed truck. He saw a flatbed truck. It's a truck with a flat thing with all the container on top. And he had their ID put, there had a kaart on it. They did it one time. They're using the material for the spiritual. Then the object is material and the vision is material. Then we make offense because we want to enjoy what belongs to Krishna. And we see deity worship as idol worship.
The object is like spiritual and vision.
Where?
In the third line, shouldn't the object part be spiritual?
Yeah, right.
In the title is in Dutch.
No, it's not idol. It's not idol. Okay. When the object is spiritual, the deity, for example, the vision is material, it's offense, deity worship. And then the last line, if the object is spiritual, the vision is spiritual, purification, ecstasy, and one sees the deity as Krishna. So these are different visions. This is the vision of the Uttam Adhikar. Okay, good. Any question? Yeah.
The whole topic today, especially the last 2.5 hours, was very interesting, highly interesting. But I know myself, so when I go out now, I will forget most of the things, even though I know some things now. And so how can I come to realize this?
Yeah, that's a good question. That it's a gradual process that you will forget. But Prabhupada says in Bhagavad Gita, we should engage ourselves. We should create the ability to engage ourselves 24 hours in devotion service. That if we do that, we become really purified. But it is a process with ups and downs that you don't want to forget, but Mama Maya Duracha, my Maya, my illusionist energy, Krishna says, is very difficult to overcome. But Mami Vaya Papachanti, those who surrender unto me, Maya Mitam Tarantiti, they can easily goes beyond it. So that surrender is a process that takes many years. But yeah, you have the recordings of these sessions. You can hear them again, and again. And it will start to filter in that can reach Prabhupada's books. Prabhupada said 2 hours a day. That will help. 2 hours. Have a reading program every day. Read every day. Usually in my normal situation, and I'm not traveling and giving lectures, but I read 10 verses of the Bhagavatam. I read 15 verses of Bhagavad Gita and 1 purport. I read Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, a few pages of each. That Nectar of Instruction sometimes. I do that every day. And I'm going hardly to the Bhagavatam, hardly to the Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Bhagavad Gita, I teach a complete Bhagavad Gita a few times a year. Going deep. Then you don't forget that always engage in devotional service. Be busy with personal consciousness. From the moment you are, your mind is busy with something else, you are in Maya. Always engage. Yes.
What's your advice on sugar memorization?
How to do it? I follow the Vedic system. Do you want to know how to do it? Yeah. I was in a temple 15 years ago, and I had 25 students, and I told them we are going to learn a verse. And at the end of the session, everyone has memorized the verse. But that's the Vedic system. That I just tell you the system, you can practice it. So you have the verse Om Purnamada Purnamidam. You take the first 2 words Om Purnam, you say 10 times Om Purnam, 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 Om Purnam. And then you connect the second and the third words. Purnamada, Purnamada, you do 10 times. Purnamada, 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 10 times. And then Ada Purnam, the third and the fourth word. Ada Purnam, 10 times. And then Purnamidam, 10 times. And then you connect the first line with the second. Idam Purnam, Purnat, 10 times. Idam Purnat, Idam Purnat, Purnam 10 times, and then Purnam Udachate 10 times. And so you go till the end, Eva Vashishate. And then you come back, you say Eva, you go in the other direction. Eva Vashishate Purnam, Eva Vashishate Purnam, and then you say Purnam Adaya, you go back 10 times. And when you come in the beginning, then you repeat the first line, Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam, that and then you repeat the first line, Om Purnam Ada Purnam Idam Purna Purnam Udachyate, and you repeat that 10 times. And then you do the same with the third and the fourth line. You repeat the first line 10 times, the second line 10 times, and then you repeat the whole verse from memory. It's an endeavor, but you connect each word with each other, and one line with the other, we call it that. But we did that 10 years ago, 15 years ago. That's a long time ago. But we have 25 students, and we did it not 10 times, but 25. Everyone said Purnam, and then the next one. And it took 1 hour, but everyone remembers the verse. Too long? Yeah, anyway, it worked. It worked.
1 hour for the rest of the night.
Yeah, it worked. Please?
It's a very nice training.
Yeah.
Training.
Yeah, it's a training.
It said in the Brahmachari book of the Vipassana Raj that each Brahmachari should learn one verse a day, and 2 hours reading, and sometimes it's not really possible to invest so much time. Do you have some advice how to?
And my Guru Maharaj Bhakti Charamana said, every disciple, the day before, you know the verse of the Bhagavatam class for the next day, you should memorize that verse the day before. Before you go to the class, you should memorize the verse. But that's the instruction he gave, but none of us could do that. But if you can do that, it's a good thing.
How many verses?
Hmm?
How many verses? For example, one verse, following this method can be learned in 1 day. Yes, but then we should repeat. Then how many
Otherwise
verses a week?
Otherwise, you forget. Yeah, that's true. But therefore, if you want to attain that knowledge, you can become a preacher. Then and deal with students who ask you so many questions, then you must answer them. Then you must know that it's a whole endeavor. I'm doing that for 30 years. And the most challenging questions. But okay. But Krishna trains you. But memory is not everything. When we leave this body, you lose your memory. What you take with you is realization of the verses. That's what you take with you. And the impression you take with you. Therefore, Bhaktivedanta Saraswati was 7 years, he memorized the entire Bhagavad Gita. Not good memory you can train. This is more than 20 years ago. I was with Prahlad Nanda Maharaj in Serbia, and we were going to an evening program. And he was going to speak about Krishna book, about chapter, the feelings of separations of the gopis. And we arrived at the home program, and he asked, do you have a Krishna book in English? And I said, no Krishna book in English. Oh, no problem. He started to recite at least the first paragraphs of the chapter just by memory, word for word. So that's brahmachari. He could do that. You train your memory. But like I said, the goal of life is not to remember verses, but to realize them. The realization you take me to your next life. And it's nice, like a parrot, to be able to repeat these things, that we must realize that develop spiritual qualities and live the principles, and realize the principles. Good. And yeah, it's time. Thank you very much. Take over.